Welcome back. 2A's and above, just to let you know, we've already done, you can go backwards and look at the 1A's, the 1B's, if you need hints again on how to do the healing or anything like that. The figure 8, if you need to remember what that is, those videos were already done. 2A's are going to have a heel on leash, the figure 8 on leash, and then you go to the heel off leash. And so one of the things that you do with training on this is sort of trick your dog into thinking that they still have a leash on. So we have what we call light lines, and we have some really cool ones that have like a wire, and then it has a wooden dowel that you hang on to. Or we have this is one that I made. It's just paracord and a clip, and you just tie it off, make sure that it's as, I have tested them and yanked as much as I possibly can, and I've actually heated them to kind of glue them together too. So we have these that we will let you have, borrow, if you need it for however long, that's fine. I made a bunch while we were in quarantine. So a light line, you want one that will still allow you, that's not too long, that you can't do the pop and release, but that can hang down just a little bit, and you want it to have that give. You want that nice J when you're walking so that you don't have a tight leash, even with this. Because that tight leash is sensory input that tells your dog they're still on a leash. You want this to hang. You should barely even touch this, because the idea is your dog needs to think that they're off leash, so they are paying attention to what you're doing in your verbal commands and not the pop and release commands, okay? So we're gonna start with the light line.
Okay, so if you haven't watched any of the other videos, of course, Lene and I'm Natasha, and this is Maisie. Lene, you want to tell us a little bit about Maisie?
Maisie's a Borbal, an African Mastiff, and she is a breeder release, which means that she was only 7 months old when she was released by the breeder, but her mom and dad were in like a big barn with a bunch of other dogs. And so she spent the first 7 months of her life in a stall, kind of like a horse or a cow or a pig. And so the breeder that had them, it cost him too much money to feed him, and he wasn't selling the puppies fast enough. So he released 4 of them and then shot the rest. So Miss Maisie, I feel, is beyond lucky, but I'm even more lucky to have gotten her. My point is, I've had her for about a year, and I've been working in that year on a lot of healing and behavior activities, how to behave politely. So she has not done any of this other than heel. And so when we do these videos, I'm going to remind you that I'm often introducing you to an exercise as I introduce her, okay? And she is an extremely strong, extremely stubborn dog. Okay?
And sensitive.
Very sensitive, you're exactly right. The thing is that I have spent an incredible amount of time building that relationship with her so that she wants to please me. I feed her, I water her, I bathe her, I brush her, I pet the daylights out of her, I play with her, I build that relationship with her. I don't spend 10 minutes on a leash with her a day. I spend hours doing other things with my dog, okay? So just to let you know, you have to build a relationship with your dog. You have to get that dog to want to please you. And then you can go from there into the activities. So that is your number 1, okay? That's kind of the point of 4-H Dog Club. That's kind of the goal, is that you and your dog become a team, that your dog is focused on you and you are focused on your dog, okay? So just to kind of start there, you can see that this leash is just...
Wait, I'm going to pause you right there. Look at that sploot. Okay.
Oh my God. We haven't done so many videos that this dog is tired. I don't know what's going on. It is a little warm in here today, and so I'm thinking that cement must feel good. So, all right. What are we doing first?
Heeling.
Heeling with the light line. Come here.
So the main point that you want to work on is using that light line as little as possible. Really, the only reason you should be using it is as a last resort, and it's to make sure your dog doesn't run off and keep them close to you so that you can continue training, okay? So we're going to go ahead and try to do that, and you're going to see Lene use her voice like crazy. She's going to give lots of commands. Obviously, that's not something you're going to do in the ring. You're going to give the commands when the judge tells you to, but right now we're in training, so we're going to give as many commands as possible. Forward. About turn.
Good girl. Nope.
Right turn.
Oh, I have to think which one's my right.
About turn.
Good girl. Yes.
Left turn.
Pardon me?
Left turn.
Oh, this is not fun. Okay, there we go. Left turn. I did use my knee a little bit there.
About turn.
Come on.
Halt. 1, 2, stop.
I did 2. You said halt and I did 2.
No, I was highlighting that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was highlighting it, not telling you to. No. Forward.
Basic heel.
Halt.
Oh, she was not paying attention. But I still got to sit without command.
Yeah, not a straight
Not
sit.
a straight sit, but I'm going to sit.
More of a perpendicular sit. Forward.
Pardon me?
Forward.
Oh, basic heel.
Halt. Now, those of you who've been a good girl, exercise finish. So those of you who have been in dog club for a while, you know that I really, really like to give the command. Well, I mean, those of you, if you're watching this video, you're probably second year. So you may have remembered that I like to give the forward, halt, forward, halt, forward, halt. You take a couple of steps, you stop. You take a couple of steps, you stop repeatedly. If you can do that 25 to 50 times a day, you're going to get a really, really good sit.
Don't do 2 steps, stop. 2 steps, stop. Do 2 steps, 5 steps, 10 steps, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. Change it up.
Yeah.
Don't let your dog see a pattern, learn a pattern. Don't let them learn a pattern, because then they're going to expect you to do that in the ring, and the judge is not going to follow that pattern.
Yeah. Dogs are really, really good at finding patterns, learning patterns, just like we are. Okay, so that is the healing. Again, Lene used that light line as a very last resort. She used her voice as much as possible. Really, the light line is just to make sure that your dog stays within 4 feet of you. Otherwise, you should be using your voice, everything you can to get your dog to stay with you.
Okay. Toshby, come over here.
Yeah.
Stand right in front of us.
Okay.
Highlight this heel right here. I'm standing like this. This is how she sat. She is nearly touching my knee. She's definitely, see this? This is called crowding. You don't want your dog to do that. So, for me, I would reset the whole thing and try and make sure that it's more like this. Okay?
And notice that she said she would reset the sit.
Reset the dog.
Right. Reset the dog, not reset her.
And we've seen kids, not in our county, but I've seen kids in other counties that will get the dog will sit and they will position themselves. That is not how you do it. Mm-hmm. Your dog sits according to you. You are the leader of this team, not your dog. Okay?
And that can get you points off in the ring.
Yes. The other thing is when we're healing, if your dog is way back here, and you're like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. That's called lagging, okay? And if your dog is leading you, and I don't think she'll do it, but if it goes in front of you and pulls, that's called forging. You don't want that either. So those are things you want your dog, you want their heels, their hip, their shoulders, these things right here. What are these things called?
Shoulders.
I don't know. Right about with your one leg, okay? Now, granted, your legs are doing this thing, so it won't be right with it, but that's where you want your dog positioned. And, 6 inches away from you, somewhere in there.
6 inches to a foot, yeah. Yep. Okay, anything else?
That was the heel training off leash. Should we try it once without the light line?
Sure.
I'm just going to do this because I don't.
Yeah.
I'm taking
Maisie just gave me the best look. Okay, let's restart you back at the wall.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oops, I stepped in her foot.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh. Okay, remember, I don't do this. This is literally, and I say this all the time, but literally, this will be the first time that I am trying a heel off leash. So if it doesn't work, I haven't done any training yet. So just gonna let you see kind of how it should look and how you correct it. Because this is training, this is not, hey, wow, look how great my dog is. She's going to do perfect in the ring. No. Okay.
Forward.
Maisie, heel.
So that is a little bit of lagging. Just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. So Lene, about turn.
Maisie, heel.
That's a wide turn. Again, lagging a little bit. So Lene's talking to her.
Good girl. Good girl.
Right turn.
Right turn. Maisie, heel. Lagging, come on.
Lagging still. Yep.
There
About turn.
Maisie, heel. Come on. Oh, yes. Good girl. Good girl.
Left turn.
Maisie, heel. Maisie, heel.
Lene touched with the knee.
Good girl.
About turn.
Maisie, heel. Oh, I always kind of just go, oops.
So now Miss Maisie's on the wrong side, so she's going to talk to her again.
Heel. Good girl. She's a little
Halt.
far out. Come here.
Yeah, you can see that's a little bit more than a foot, but for training, that's pretty good. Exercise finished.
Maisie, who's a good doggy?
Yay!
Yes, you did it. You did it.
So that's healing off leash.